Hello Gemini, my name's Echo and thank you for joining me for your 2025 August tarot reading. We do currently have a Mercury retrograde that's going to be here moving around in Leo. So be sure that you deal with that Mercury retrograde by downloading and saving any files that you're currently working with. Double check your emails to make sure everything goes through correctly and look at the fine print on any contracts or agreements that you may sign at this time. Also, be ready to repeat anything that you start during a Mercury retrograde. This would be good for things like meditations, exercise, new diets, things that you're going to be comfortable revisiting again because you will be revisiting those things again in the future. We also do have a new moon in Leo coming up on July 25th, just before I do this reading. So to see where that is in your chart, what house is Leo going to be for you? And set intentions around that new moon, because this is the time to put intentions down for what we wish to manifest and what we wish to see in the month to come. So let's go ahead and throw some cards for you, Gemini, and see what we have coming in the month of August. Okay. We start off with this card of friendship. It says, seek out your soul family. Surround yourself with positive people. Spend more time socializing. So you may have been invited to a social event very recently. Things like weddings, gender reveal parties, maybe just baby showers, or just a gathering of friends, you know, something that you do periodically. Because there are people that get together and do like camping trips, family reunions, things that come around, you know, in full cycles. But you're being encouraged at this time to get out there and socialize. And your previous readings, Gemini, did say something about addressing the way you interact with other people, the way they interact with you, and how you handle that. But I feel like at this time, it's like you're open to anybody who is open to you. And you want only the most genuine energy, Gemini. You want people who are going to give back to you. We do have a Uranus and Gemini going on right now, and I know that that does create a little bit of change in the Gemini house. So be open to changing the way you do things and realizing that if someone has changed their approach to you, there may be a certain reason for it. Maybe they realize they come off a little bit sharp sometimes, so they're withdrawing. If they're in kind of a down and out energy, they may kind of push you away for a little bit because they need time to cope, and maybe they're sharp-tongued when they're in a mood. So it's really for your own protection. But just know that when someone is true and someone is genuine, they will come back to you when they're in a better energy, and they will bring a better vibe, because you are looking for people who are positive at this time, and no one really wants to drag you down to their level, right? But let's go ahead and continue with the Zodiac and Astrological Oracle. I am using some new Oracle decks in this reading, and I am bringing back some that you guys haven't seen in a while. But let's go ahead and continue with this reading to build on this friendship card. You have the card of Aquarius. So Aquarius goes above and beyond the advanced thinker, the person who's looking for a better way to do things and to improve. And this may be why someone in your friend circle or someone in your social group has been kind of withdrawing from you. It's because they're doing their own thing. They're trying to figure themselves out. And you're such a strong, vibrant energy, my dear Gemini. When you walk in, your whole character, you fill up a room, you lighten a whole room. And sometimes people don't really want a light shed on them. They would rather sit with their own thoughts and their own space and kind of contemplate things. So it's really, I feel like this is really somebody wanting to do things their way. And you're honoring and recognizing, because if you didn't like a friendship group, or a particular friend, a loved one, maybe even a family member, if you didn't like them for who they genuinely were, you wouldn't be talking to them in the first place, okay? So you're honoring their space, you've been respecting their space, and as you move into August, you might miss them, and you might worry, but just know that they're coming full circle, they're figuring something out, and this is a good time for you to step outside of the way you've been doing things, embrace that change with Uranus we were talking about, so you can do your own forward thinking and Aquarius growth, right? Because you never stop growing. Even though we look after other people, we got to continue to tend to our path as well. I'm going to continue with the holographic Rider-Waite Tarot deck. And I love this deck. Very pretty. I don't know if I've shown it to you guys before, but let's go ahead and pull it out. And let's see what we have coming for you in the month of August, my dear Gemini, to expand upon this reading. Oh, cards flipping, I guess it's time. You start off with the sun in reverse. So you've been showing up and doing the things and doing all the stuff, but you may have felt recently that it didn't really feel genuine. It didn't really feel like you. You're doing what other people need. You're doing what maybe society or the people around you need, and you're dealing with a lot of responsibilities. But they're not really things that vibe with you. It's not really what your heart is wanting. I feel like you're going to be casting off all of any preconceived notions or worries that you're giving too much of yourself to a situation. Be like, yeah, I'm there when I can be, and when I can't, they get it. Just like you respect this other person, they also respect you, right? So you guys just appreciate each other's space. And yes, it can feel a little dark and a little gloomy sometimes because you miss them when they're not around. And I can tell you they're missing you. Whoever it is, they truly miss you, but they know that whatever they have going on right now, it's really not going to be of any benefit to you. So someone may be keeping you at arm's length at this time, and that's kind of what has you down and out. Like you feel like, am I to blame? Am I the one? And this might have you do some inward questioning, but I really don't feel like it has anything to do with you. I feel like you're like the one small bright spot in this person's environment or this friendship group, might even be a whole group. And I really feel like they're missing you, but they don't want to dull that one shine. They don't want to dull that one bright spot they have. So they kind of keep you away from the mess so they can clean up all this stuff. And then the two of you will be reconnecting. So if something seems socially upsetting or out of alignment, don't worry about it. What's meant for you will never pass you by. It will come back into being. I dropped this card here, so we're just going to continue shuffling. What's crossing you is the Ace of Pentacles. See, I told you this deck was pretty. The Ace of Pentacles is all about reward and getting things that are in real time, things you can touch, things you can see. So you may be approaching the way you do work and what you're working on and trying to find the best in every situation. But I'm feeling like this is coming a lot from what's going on in your personal life and in your environment with friends. People may have brushed you off in the past and it kind of hurt your feelings and made you feel like they didn't value you. But now you're going for things that truly do make you feel valued, that do make you feel important. And that can be being there for someone who may have in the past kind of, just, no, I can't today, sorry. They may have canceled on you. It may be this friend that's kind of stepped away. But you're looking for things that are more rewarding, not only in the workplace, but I feel like the whole approach to work and the way you do this and getting your dividends is because you've seen it impact your personal life and you don't want it to bleed over and then everything just poof, blows up in your face. This may also mean that you're looking for the best outcome and the best reward in a financial or material situation. It might be that the car needs repairs, the house needs repairs, you're paying off a loan, you're putting out some sort of agreement that's going to allow you to take control of the situation financially rather than letting it get out of hand. But I feel like something good is on offer for you here. And remember, with Mercury going retrograde, read all the fine print, look at everything. If the deal sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Don't be afraid to raise an eyebrow and kind of question things because it's not paranoia, it's doing your due diligence, right? There it is. But someone is going to offer you something genuinely good and helpful that's going to be beneficial to a situation you're dealing with materially. So this might be a raise. Like I said, this might be a payoff plan. This might be a loan. This might be I feel like this could actually even maybe a gift of money, okay? Or someone letting you off the hook off of something that could have cost you a lot. But let's go ahead and continue with this reading and see where we're going from here. Because you look like you're looking for the best outcome in all situations. You're picking your chin up. At your base, you have the King of Wands. The King of Wands is a very passionate, fiery king. He is the creative master. So you are looking to get a hold of your creative projects at this time. Deep down in your gut, it kind of calls you. You may be sitting in the dead of night when you're sitting in bed, or when you're doing a long drive to work, or when you're in the shower. You're sitting with yourself and you're contemplating the creativity. Maybe you listen to a song and it makes you think of a particular movie or film or book, something that if you deal in those medias, you want to write or you want to start making. If you make music, maybe it's inspiring you because someone will play a particular chord or a lyric that will remind you of something that you've created. But your creative genius is kind of bubbling up inside you. And I feel like it's just sitting down low and rumble like a volcano, right? Because they do test volcanoes for activity regularly, and then when they start to get really active, they'll call them to the company's attention. But I feel like right now you've got that low bubbling, you've got that low boil deep down in the depths, and you already know what's coming. You already feel it coming up, and you're you're ready to take action and kind of bring that volcano to fruition. So let's go ahead and continue this reading, Gemini, and see what else we have coming, because it really does feel like you're looking to make the best of something. This has almost like, I'm seeing a phoenix. There's almost like a phoenix type energy here, or some sort of it's soaring. I'm seeing this bird is actually soaring, and it's like, if you've seen in the movies where a large creature, or since we're talking about birds, would like fly overhead, like you're almost looking up and you're cast in the shadow of this creature. So you pay attention, because if a bird flies overhead, I can almost see you with your hand cupped to your eyes, like looking up to see it fly. But that's symbolism of that phoenix, that rise, that flight that you will soon be taking towards that which you are looking to create. Here you have the King of Cups in reverse. The King of Cups in reverse indicates that you're feeling the loss of whatever friend. See, I told you this energy was here. I don't know why this is here. You're addressing friendship energies in the past and where they haven't been very favorable. And I feel like you're kind of akin to hold a grudge, but you've got a big heart, Gemini, and you're not without reason. So if someone tells you, hey man, I'm sorry I had to kind of take a step back, I was dealing with some stuff, and when they tell you their story, you're going to be like, oh, I know, I totally get it. I was this way last week when I had da-da-da-da-da. And you guys are going to kick off a conversation somewhere. And it's really going to have you laughing at the situation. And you'll realize in that moment just how close a bond you've built with this friend or this friendship group. You're going to see just how much alike you guys really are. It might even be a love interest. But you are looking at situations and how they didn't play out socially in the past for you, where maybe they kind of brought you down in the doldrums. And you're looking to avoid that in the future and be that good friend. But at the time, I feel like someone is kind of keeping you at arm's length right now and like, hey, look, I care about you. And I'm glad that you want to, pick me up when I'm down. But I got to deal with my stuff. I got to figure my things out. Can we talk later? It's not personal. If anything, it's protecting you from whatever it is they're dealing with, okay? It's not that they're trying to be a bad friend. But let's go ahead and see where we're going with this reading. What is crowning you, my dear Gemini? The Two of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, more finances. So you're addressing a financial situation, something that's material, in a way that you feel like will give back. This could be sorting out some sort of agreement, a payment plan, some sort of loan. Could be student loans, could be a car loan, could be maybe it's a mortgage, But you're looking at the way things balance, how much money you're making versus how much money is going out. I feel like you're going to be noting little things like subscriptions you don't use anymore, services that you really don't care for anymore, so you're going to be canceling those. Anything that might be taking over in the background, anything that might be like, I'm hearing auto pay, like a bill. If something is auto pay, you might turn it off of auto pay so you have more control over when the money goes out. But I feel like you're addressing a situation, and not just like financially, but like the day-to-day, okay? And the individual in this card, while he's juggling those pentacles, he does have like this infinity symbol in front of him. And the Rider-Waite is famous for looking at the backs of characters, okay, in these cards. And you're looking at the back of this individual, but in the front-facing version of this card I've seen in other decks, it's actually looking at the front of the character, and it is an infinity symbol in most cases. Or just the motion that shows he is constantly balancing and moving those pentacles. So you're looking for something that's going to create longevity in the long run, okay? Not just longevity of feeling sustainable, like, oh yeah, I can pay this bill, this, I can do this here, I can pay that there because this is my pay date, that's when the bill is due. Okay, you're looking at the numbers, the dates, and how everything falls to make sure things are sustainable at this time. And you are finding things that are out of balance. But let's go ahead and continue this reading. If you keep addressing that in your professional, financial, material world, I feel like you're already doing it in your emotional and social and mental world. Because, you're a Gemini. You're a social butterfly. Flap, little butterfly, flap. But I really feel like you're kind of seeing similarities in both of them. What gives too much? What doesn't give enough? What can you afford to give more of? What do you want to give less of? Okay? So the two seem to be mirroring each other. But the immediate outcome for this card is the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. You're going to see where there have been losses. Not just on, like we're talking, if it's on a social level, this is going to be not just on situations that aren't working for you socially, how you're not getting along with people, but how you've put something into a situation and it didn't give back in the way that you thought it was going to. So you're looking for the value in what you did learn from that lesson, what it did make you feel, and how it did help you and maybe your relationship with this other person grow. But we're talking in terms of pentacles now. So in real time, you're wary of where you're going to be overpaying on a situation, because it feels like when you come to agreements, people want to haggle with you a lot, and you realize where they're wanting to take more than what you can really give, okay? And they're really out to get what they can get from you as far as financials go. So like I said, be sure you're reading that fine print, the dates, when your pay dates fall, check all your homework on this one because you're going to really want to. And it's not that it's shifty. It might not be that it's underhanded. Then again, it may. That's why you got to read the fine print. It could be something like an accident or a typo. Oh, sorry, we gave you this rate based on this, but we see that your scenario is actually more like this. Well, let me adjust those numbers. Or we gave you this rate that is actually outdated. We have a better plan. Okay, so don't be afraid to call someone out on something. You don't have to be rude about it. Just call their attention and be like, hey, look, the paperwork says, I have to pay by this date and I have to pay this much and the interest is this much. But are these really accurate? Is this still the case? Because it could be that someone's like told you something different in a conversation. Oh, excuse me. But let's go ahead and continue this reading and see what energy you are bringing into the Celtic cross, my dear Gemini. What do you have? You have the Six of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, you're definitely worried about the balance of a situation, the give and take. Not only what you're going to be working toward, what the general outcome is going to be, but what are you doing in the day-to-day? Are you being given the runaround at work? Are you being given the runaround on handling some sort of loan or financial or payoff situation? Does it really feel like things are out of balance? Be sure that you're not over giving to whatever that situation is, because I really feel like someone is, and I'm hearing the words, I hate to say it, but I'm going to give it to you like I hear it. I'm hearing the words after your money, but I don't feel like it's because they're explicitly after you. That this is just the way they do business. This is how they stay in business, okay? It might be a big name company. It might be someone who everybody's very familiar with. And I really feel like they just want the payout. It's not personal. They want their money, okay? So if you can come to some agreement that gets them, something that looks decent to them and to you, I feel like that's the best way that's going to play out. But don't be surprised if what's offered to you as an agreement or deal or payout plan even comes out in a way that sounds less favorable than you would like. And I'm not even looking at my deck. Let me flip this again. Spirit is bringing to the reading the Four of Pentacles. A lot of pentacles in this reading. Your mind is on your money. Your mind is on your everyday. Your mind is at your situation at hand. I really feel like you're just looking at the bigger picture, because when we're talking about social situations, and I feel like those are going to handle themselves, and it. You don't stress about it because, you're here. I am. This is me. Take it or leave it, and you're attracting your tribe. And then people who just want their space, you're just letting them have their space because you kind of get of two minds too, Gemini, and you understand that. But I really feel like you're more about a financial situation. You've probably been battling with this based on your July reading for a while. So in Four of Pentacles, it indicates that you need to be wary that you're not being greedy about a situation. Or is the other party being greedy? I feel like somebody is asking more than really is fair. So like I said, be sure you're reading the fine print, especially with that Mercury retrograde we have going on. And we are talking about the Leo new moon coming up on the 25th of July, just after I do this reading. So be sure you're setting intentions. And if those intentions are something about making sure finances are fair, making sure communications are clear, I feel like you're going to back to that moment. You may even look over to your space where you set those intentions. If you have an altar, maybe you keep a memento on your desk at work to remind you. Maybe it could be something as simple as like a sticky note or a note on your phone that you see just when you're thumbing through and, popping through doom scrolling. But be wary of greed at this time. I don't really feel like you're looking for greed. You're looking for the best outcome because you still have bills and life, all this stuff. But I feel like you're worried that someone is going to be overreaching and taking from you, so it might have you holding onto your pentacles really tight. Just be wary that when you're holding onto those pentacles so tightly with whatever entity you're dealing with in this situation, you're not doing the same thing with the people around you who do genuinely need a hand, like I don't know, like a spouse, okay? If they, hun, I need a couple bucks for gas. Can you help me out? You know, my paycheck. The way I see it, because I am married, when you guys both share bank accounts, you both share the debts that it takes to run a household. The way I see it, and not everybody agrees with this, those are kind of like it's our money, regardless of where it comes from. We need to pay this, we need to pay that. But it does come time to time with like gas money. Hey, I need a few bucks. Do you have any cash in your wallet? You know, I feel like it's just going to be a conversation like that as far as, you know, someone you know. But let's move on from that and continue reading. In your position of hopes and fears for this Celtic cross, what do you have for my Gemini? Here we have the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords is all about standing in your truth and being your genuine self and just telling it like it is. You're worried that someone is telling you they're down in the doldrums because it's you. You're worried that someone's telling you this is the agreement, this is the financial situation because this is how it's gonna be. But you're being called to stand your ground at this time. I feel like there's a lot of give, and you're kind of hopeful that you're going to be able to stand up for yourself in a way that people will hear. You have the confidence, Gemini, of that I have no doubt. But you're worried that, am I saying the right thing? Am I making a situation worse? Should I say this? Should I say that? You're being called at this time to stand in your own truth, okay? To speak your own truth and be who you are and just put it out there. And like I said, your energy is going to attract whatever tribe is meant for you. And it's going to mean that whatever solutions you're looking to find, you're going to find that much easier because you were honest and clear about what your intentions were and how you wanted things to work out. Because you can't come to an agreement, you can't make peace, you can't mend friendships if you're hiding in, you know, cloak and dagger with how you really feel, okay? It leaves the other person in the dark, and if it is a situation where they had to close themselves off, they're still vulnerable, okay? And if they realize that, you know, you're coming at them with, oh, it's okay, when it's really not okay, you know, when you're genuinely concerned, they're going to be like, okay, well, this person is handling me like I'm made of glass now, and that just makes me feel awful, and then they'll feel bad for, you know, whatever. But let's go ahead and continue from that. What is the long-term outcome of this reading for my Gemini in August? You're dealing with some stuff here, Gemini, let me tell you. 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups is watery, emotional energy. So the situations you're dealing with are going to pay back to you in a way that is rewarding. They are going to bring you the joy you're looking for, because the 10 of Cups, if you're in a card, would look like the happy ending. You have the family praising all their blessings, you know, that are floating up in the sky and all that they have. 2 children dancing around in the background by their home, the loyal little dog flittering around in the background. I really feel like this is all about, you're going to have whatever it is you want, but you've got to get clear on what it is you want and work towards it, right? We can't just, you know, float through life. There are times where all you can do is float, yes. But I feel like if you want things, you have to be willing to fight for them. And that's why you've been going through such a time, Gemini, because life has been calling you to pick up that sword. And yes, it can be tired to be the spiritual warrior. It can be exhausting, but that's what makes you a warrior. That's what makes the muscles build, because of the times we've been knocked down and got back up, because of all the aches and pains we had that we muscled through. That's what built that strength. But I feel like you're going to have whatever it is you're looking for if you talk about these negotiations financially, and you're going to get back on top of whatever's going on with you in your social life. I'm going to go ahead and continue with this reading. They were doing a little bit of lawn work outside, and I didn't want that to interfere with our reading, but we are going to get some clarification from Spirit using another tarot deck that I'm not sure I've shared with you guys. This is called the Tarot de la Nuit. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, but let's go ahead and throw these cards down and see what we have for you. What blessings do you have for my Gemini in the month of August? What blessings are there? The Fool card. The Fool card is all about going forward with innocence and joy and bliss, just looking for whatever it is that brings you joy and makes you happy. And it is the beginning of the hero's journey. It is the beginning of the tarot and the run, which is why it is the 0 card. And the figure on the card is always youthful. It indicates that they are still hopeful. They are unjaded by the experiences of the world and going out on that journey. And I feel like the blessings you have are you're going to be able to harness that sort of energy. And you are going to be wary of the idea that, yes, I can make mistakes. I am human. But at the same time, you're going to be able to take that new journey and take that energy and harness it the way you would, recognizing that, hey, if I make mistakes along the way, that's life. Okay. But these are the blessings you have coming in the month of August. You're getting kind of a renewed sort of energy. You're still hopeful. You're still bright. Things are going to be lightened up for you. What does my Gemini maybe not see coming in the month of August? What do you not see coming? And this could be unexpected surprises. Oh, that jumped out, so I'm going to take it. But let me get that card. This could be unexpected surprises. This could be hurdles in your path, any of the above. But let's go ahead and continue. You have the Five of Swords in reverse. Now, the Five of Swords is talking about situations that are, I don't want to put this, situations that are keeping you from doing better, okay? This could be like limiting thoughts or beliefs, excessive worry, things that are holding you back from experiencing your own magic. And you're going to see, and I feel like this is what's going to be unexpected, you are going to see where a situation that felt like it was out of your control really was in your control all along. You just had to change the way you thought about it or change your approach to it. And you may not have known it at the time, we're all human. We're all working on this life in this world, and it's a continuous path. Everyone has this idea that they'll eventually figure everything out and then, life will be so much easier. That's not what self-mastery is all about. Self-mastery is literally mastering the self. And we're not talking just your natal chart as far as astrology goes, why you're hardwired a certain way. We're not talking about, just I'm allergic to this food. This is what I like to eat. This is where I'm going to work. Self-mastery is literally understanding where your drawbacks are, your flaws, where your blessings and your skills and your advantages are, owning those, and then just stepping up to the plate and using them on the day-to-day in order to build the life that you were meant to have, to serve whatever your soul purpose is. That's self-mastery. Seeing all the crap and accepting it for what it is and going with it, okay? But I feel like someone had to hear that because that came through very passionately. Like I feel it was almost like someone reaching through and just spilling my heart out. Let's see what we have for advice for my Geminis to close out this reading. What advice do you have for my Geminis in the month of August, Spirit? What advice is there? There's a lot going on here. You have the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is places where you are stuck and you are bound and you are unable to move from the space that you're in. The individual in this card is sleeping very peacefully, and you would think that she's, just laying down somewhere on the ground. But if you look at the card, she's folded up within her own wings, okay? Now, swords are an airy energy. They're all about thought, communication, so it makes sense that there's wings here. But she's folded up within her own wings, and she may just be resting. She may be there because someone defeated her, or maybe she's afraid to use those wings. But you need to recognize that you can get up, spread those wings, and fly. You can soar again. And the advice here is to unflap your wings. We were talking about the bird and the phoenix and the soaring, so it's really crazy that this card came up. Well, not so crazy. I channel, and what's meant to be here will be here. But I really feel like this coming through is telling you that you need to keep in mind where you can soar, you can open your wings and kind of take off, and don't be afraid to. Open your wings and let yourself fly. So I like this reading for you, Gemini. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm wishing you a very happy August. My name's Echo, and I'll see you next time.